Vishnu Bhagavatam Paridhanakacharya Stotra Shri Abhayacharana Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4, Appearance of Sri Narada, text number 6. Katham alakshitaha paurehi Katham alakshita paurehi Sampraptaha kurujhanghalan Sampraptaha kurujhanghalan Unmattha Mukha Jadavad Unmatta Mukha Jadavad Vicharan Gajasavahe Vicharan Gajasavahe Katham halakshita paure Sampraptaha kurujhanghalan Unmatta Mukha Jadavad Vicharan Gajasavahe Katham alakshita paure Samprapta kurujhanghalan Unmatta Mukha Jadavad Vicharan Gajasavahe Katham alakshita paure Samprapta kurujhanghalan Unmatta Mukha Jadavad Vicharan Gajasavahe Katham alakshita paure Samprapta kurujhanghalan Unmatta Mukha Jadavad Vicharan Gajasavahe
Katham alakshita paure
Katham alakshita paure
Prapta kurujhanghalam
Samprapta kurujhanghalam
Unmatta Mukha Jadavad Vicharan Gajasavahe Katham alakshita paure
Samprapta kurujhanghalam Unmatta Mukha Jadavad Vicharan Gajasavahe. What meaning? Katham, how? Alakshitaha, recognized. Paurehi, by the citizens. Sampraptaha, reaching. Kurujhanghalam, the Kurujhangala provinces. Unmatta, mad. Mukha, dumb. Jadavad, stunted. Vicharan, wandering. Gajasavahe, Astinapura. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhayacharana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. How was he, Srila Shukadeva, the son of Vyasa, recognized by the citizens when he entered the city of Astinapura, now Delhi, after wandering the provinces of Kuru and Jangala, appearing like a madman, dumb and retarded. Translation with repetition. How was he, Srila Shukadeva, the son of Vyasa, recognized by the citizens when he entered the city of Hastinapura of Delhi after wandering in the provinces of Kuru and Jangala, appearing like a madman, dumb and retarded. The present city of Delhi was formerly known as Hastinapura because it was first established by King Asti. Goswami Shukadeva, after leaving his paternal home, was roaming like a madman, and therefore it was very difficult for the citizens to recognize him in his exalted position. A sage is not therefore recognized by sight but by hearing. One should approach a sadhu or a great sage not to see but to hear him. If one is not prepared to hear the words of a sadhu, there is no profit. Shukadeva Goswami was a sadhu who could speak on the transcendental activities of the Lord. He did not satisfy the whims of ordinary citizens. He was recognized when he spoke on the subject of Bhagavatam. And he never attempted jugglery like a magician. Outwardly, he appeared to be a retarded, dumb madman. But in fact, he was a most elevated, transcendental personality. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanami Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Prachara Nirvishesha Shunyavani Paschatya Deshatarni Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasani Gaura Bhaktavranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Mukam Karate Vachala Pangana Kayate Kirimet Kalpatam A long back, there was a Brahmana who was having two wives, and the first wife was having 9 sons. It was the olden days. Actually, people used to have polygamy was accepted in the society, and they used to have a lot of children. So this Brahmana was having first 9 children. It is first wife, and all these 9 children, sons, were very qualified. They were all experts in the 3 Vedas. They conquered, they mastered the 3 Vedas. So he was having a second wife, and from second wife he got 2 children. They are twins, 1 daughter and 1 son. This son was the youngest, but this youngest son was most dull person. You can imagine in a family of all the scholars, and one person is there is a dumb fellow, dull, won't understand anything. How it will be treated? Everyone will think that he is an kalanka. He is an unwanted for entire family. So everyone were not caring him, not concerned about him. But father was very, very affectionate, used to take care of him, because it happens, even though brothers may mistreat, but for the parents, the sons who are very weak or who are very dependent, So they spend a lot of time, take care, they worry about them, thinking that how this person will able to manage if we are not there. So that is natural. So the parents, father and mother's more attention was going on. This young son was very dull, dumb. So unfortunately one day what happened? The father became very sick. Before that, the father, because of his affection, he tried to teach so many things to this child, this son. He was growing up, teenage boy, growing up, trying to do all the samskaras. So at one point of time, he decided, ये तो गृहस्थी के लिए लायक नहीं है. He cannot manage his wife. He cannot earn his own livelihood. So इनको तो शादी तो कभी करना ही नहीं है. So let him remain as single, brahmachari only. Okay, at least if he has to remain as a brahmachari, let him learn something as whatever some shastras, some purificatory process is supposed to learn as a brahmachari. Okay, at least Brahmana should know Gayatri mantra. So let him teach Gayatri mantra. And Gayatri mantra, Brahmana has to chant in a count, has to in a particular manner. So that simple Gayatri mantra, when father is teaching and father is telling the process how to count Gayatri mantra, 10 times, 11 times, 12 times, whatever 10 is mentioning. But the son is so dumb, he is not able to do that also. Whatever father tells, it does everything ulta, reverse. You do from A to Z, you do from Z to A. So finally, father felt lost all his hope. I won't teach him anything more, he cannot learn. So finally, one fine day, unfortunate day, father left the body. And because father left the body, mother also, the second wife, was feeling a deep separation from his husband. She also left the body. So this dumb, dull, young Brahmana practically became orphan, even though he was having a brothers. He was having 9 elder brothers who were scholars. He was having a stepmother, but that stepmother and the elder brothers were not treating him properly. They thought, why to spend money on this person's education? It's a waste. Anyhow, is not going to learn anything. So they stopped the education. And they were engaging him in all household affairs. And they used to give him a food which is completely burnt, grains. If you cook a rice, some last portion of some grains which are very burnt, stick to that vessel, right? So such a burnt food they used to give to him. Or the half-broken rice, or the grains which are eaten by insects. They used to take all that and they used to give to him. And many people used to call him in many ways. ये तो पागल है, ये तो कुछ काम का नहीं है, dumb, dull, mad. So many ways people used to comment on him. But in spite of all the comments, you not used to protest to anyone. You used to remain silent and so on. And everyone want to take some service from him because he's a simple person, innocent. Anyone tells anything, he will do. So people want to use him for all various activities, for their personal work or whatever the work which they want to do. So, but anyone tells anything, he accepts and he does it. That's a simple thing, he does. So, like that, the days passed. And people, even not only family members, the villagers, they also start commenting on him. And he was indifferent to all that because he was having some higher purpose in his life. He was aware of it. I am talking about Jada Bharat. The Jada Bharat was that dull Brahmana. So why Jada Bharat was acting like that? Because he was having a higher purpose of Krishna consciousness. He was thinking, if I start responding to these people, or if they are giving some rotten food or burnt food, if I'm worried about, if I'm start contracting or asking, I'm wasting my time. I want to finish this material business quickly. I don't want to waste my time in counteracting these material so-called insult or humiliation, whatever the kind of an insults. I don't want to waste my life. You know who is the Jada Bharat? All of you know, right? Yes, who is the Jada Bharat? What was his previous life? He was a deer. Before that he was a King Bharata. Already he crossed 2 lives, passed over 2 lives as a king, as a Bharata. He was reached almost the stage of perfection. Bhava. From that stage, he got attracted towards one small deer, and for that he has to, at the time of his death, again he was in meditating, remembering the deer, and because of that he has to take birth as a deer in next life. So he taken birth as a deer, and again he was in the middle of devotees, in association of devotees. So then somehow he finished that life also. So then again he got a life next human birth. So that as a Jada Bharat. So the Jada Bharat was aware of all the things what happened in the past. So that's why he was so tolerant for all external inconveniences, tribulations. He was consciously, if father is telling, do this way, you should do in this way, because if I do the right way, father will teach more things, more samskaras, more rituals. I don't want to get engaged in samskaras. I want to practice my pure devotional service. So better I don't learn. If somebody is giving some kind of a rotten fruit, it's okay accepting that. Why I have to argue? Why I have to counter? Why I have to waste my life? I want to finish this business. So he was in that mood of urgency. So after that, one day his stepbrothers asked him to guard the field, paddy field. Asked him to please stay night and take care of the paddy field, animals and some other things should not come and attack. So at that time, so what happened, there was in that village, next to village, there was a forest. In that forest, there was a dacoits. Those dacoits, the leader of the dacoit was performing one Purusha Pashu Yajna. So he wanted more health, he wanted more some benefits from the Mother Kali. So then Purusha Pashu Yajna means the man was well built, good body, physically was complete. So we want to sacrifice that man in front of to Mother Kali. So then suddenly what happened? That person, that Bali, the sacrifice person suddenly escaped from that arena and he was not available. So immediately he sent his fellow subordinates, you please go and find out a man who is suitable for this Purusha Pashu Yajna. So then the dacoits went on searching, they find this Jada Bharat and just they drag him. Then Jada Bharat also is going. He's not asking where are you taking, why are you taking, nothing. Finally, they brings the Jada Bharat and they nicely bathes him. Nicely, they have given a bath to him. Jadabharat was indifferent to external things. He was not taken bath from many days. So they nicely bathed him and nicely decorated with all the gold jewelry on him, and nicely fed him before giving a bali. That is a ritual. They nicely fed with a lot of variety of dishes, and they offered a garland. They offered a arati to him, and after that they asked him to bow down in front of Mother Kali, and he was whatever they are saying, he is following everything. So at that time, finally all rituals are completed. Now it's a time to give bali. So the pujari, whoever that priest, taken the sword and about to cut the head of Jadabharat. Jadabharat is completely dependent on the Lord. He is not protesting, not asking why, what. So at that moment, the Mother Kali comes out of the deity. Because Mother Kali is a devotee of Krishna, she won't see the pain of other devotees. So she comes out of that deity and she starts with the same sword. She takes and start cutting the heads of all those dacoits. She was so furious. It says she cut the head of all those dacoits who wanted to cut the head of Jadabharat, and immediately she drank the hot blood from each one of them. And still she was so angry, so furious. She started playing a football with their heads. You are going to punish Krishna's devotee. You are going to give this thing to Krishna's devotee. I won't tolerate. So Mother Kali was playing, tossing them like balls, tossing their heads like a balls. And Jadabharat seeing all these things. So here, the one important quality of a devotee which we can learn from the Jadabharat life is, throughout the life, whatever is happening in his life, he was remain undisturbed. Whether some injustice happening to him in his family, or somebody is passing a comment on him, somebody looks like is exploiting him. In spite of all that, he was remain undisturbed. As we are discussing the last week about how the great personalities always try to keep themselves beyond dualities. Because this world is meant to give troubles, especially for our devotees. There was no devotee in the history where this world has taken care of him nicely appreciated and taken care of him, nothing like that. Every devotee was taking the devotional path. The world, this material world, ill-treated him, put him in a lot of difficulties. Practically, it's a kind of the harassment, so much harassment. So the devotee, how much harassment, difficulty, challenges faces in his life, that much is an opportunity. How devotee takes, it takes it's an opportunity for his to become more and more connect with Krishna. Contrast to that, many times what will happen, devotee is afraid of this material sukha. Devotee is afraid of material sukha, material comfort. He is afraid, scared. Why? Because these material sukha, material comfort keep me away. It may take me away from Krishna. I may get lost. So that's why devotees are very, even though whatever the external so-called sad things, they consider it as a blessing in disguise and they remain undisturbed by that. So here in the Bhagavatam analyzes why what was the reasons for his remain so undisturbed in all these situations. Says first thing is a vimukta deha, the atma bhava. First and foremost thing is the devotee is a vimukta deha adi atma bhava. He is different. He knows that he is having that bhava, he is having that consciousness that I am different from this body. This is the first thing. So whatever the insult or whatever the appreciation, whatever the suffering that is happening to this body, not to the Atma. A devotee has a very deep conviction about this philosophical aspect. The difference of other philosophers and Vaishnavas for having understanding is Vaishnava understanding of this body, separate from this body, it's very deep. So that's why Vaishnavas won't try to counteract the miseries beyond certain point. If you remember in the last class we discussed, that's why Krishna tells after 2.14, Matras Pashastu Kaunteya, after that verse immediately tells about 2.15, tells about who is a Dhira. One who, the devotee one, the person who tolerates all these things. He is called a Dhira and he is eligible for liberation. So Amrutattvaya Kalpate. He will be able to achieve that Amrutatva because he is trying to tolerate the things. So this is the reason he says, it's mentioned that how he was deeply convinced that he is not this body. So that's why all these things happened. He was undisturbed, and also he was having a deep faith that I am always protected by Lord. He says, our devotees are always protected by the attentive Lord with his chakra. The Sudarshana chakra of the Lord is for the protection for the devotees. It's one thing is to kill the demons, and same time it protects the devotees. Just like if you see, remember Ambarish Maharaj pastime? What happened? What happened in Ambarish Maharaj pastime? When Durvasa Muni from his body he produced one demon from his hair, and the demon about to kill the Ambarish Maharaj. At that time, Sudarshana came to protect the Ambarish Maharaj. So, pure devotees of the Lord are always protected by the Lord and with his Sudarshana chakra. So, in this way, the Jadabharat taken completely shelter of the Lord and depended on the Lord, and he came out of that the scenario. One fine day, Jadabharat was lying in the forest. At that time, there was a king of the Sovira Rashtra. Sovira, that currently comes under the current Gujarat, Punjab area. So in olden days, that was the name was given to that province. He was going from Sovira to Kapilashtrama. Kapilashtrama comes on the West Bengal, near to that place currently called as Ganga Sagar. So he was going along with all his entourage, with servants. So their mode of traveling was, the king was carried in the palanquin by his servants. So it was a long distance. So after some time, the one of the palanquin carrier became a sick or tired. So in the jungle, these other servants of the king were looking for who can help them. So then they find this person, the Jada Bharat. He was very strong, physically strong and healthy. Then they asked for the help, and as usual, Jada Bharat accepted. Anyone gives any task, he accepts. So they start carrying. So when they start carrying, after some time, what was happening? The pallaki was moving unevenly. Why? What was the reason? This Jada Bharat don't want to step on any of the ant or any other some small insects which are on the ground. Whenever any such insects or anything comes, he used to just keep jump here and there a little bit to protect that insect. So that was creating an imbalance for other Pallaki carriers, and the Pallaki was more shaking. And when Pallaki was more shaking, the king got disturbed. King wanted more comfort, everything should go smoothly. But king was a little bit silent for some time, but it was happening repeatedly. So then king at one point of time shouted from the inside the Pallaki, "Who is this? Who is this doing like this?" Then all other Pallaki servants became very afraid. They were mentioning, no, king, we are all carrying properly. This one person is doing like this. So then he started asking, "You looks like you are unhealthy, you are sick. It looks like you are tired. Why you are not able to cooperate with your fellow people?" So then after some time, king become quiet, hoping that he won't do again. But again, same thing start happening. The king lose his patience and finally start shouted towards him, saying that, are you dead? You don't have energy? Even though you are in the body, even though you are in despite you are having a life in your body, you are acting like a dead person. I'm your master. Why, even though I'm instructing you are not listening to me? Are you mad? So like that, he spoke and tried to agitate the Jada Bharat. So at that time, Jada Bharat start speaking to him, responds to him. He says, "King, you are told, yes, I am. You are mentioning that I am weak, I am tired, or I am sick. These all things belongs to my body, not for me. These all things, a body as some thick, thin, fat, or whatever, these all identifications, whatever you're speaking, these all identifications belongs to only to the body, not to the real self, me. And now you are saying that you are a master and I am your servant. Over a period of time, it may happen some another way also. You may become my servant, I may become your master." So when he spoke these words, that shaken the Rahugana. That king's name was Rahugana. How this simple servant is speaking this knowledge? Because Rahugana is spiritually inclined, but in the course of, because he is a king, because he came in the influence of under the influence of mode of passion, in that influence he start scolding the Jada Bharat. But in spite of that, Jada Bharat did not remain quite calm and start replying to him in a spiritual way. So at that time, the Rahugana gets down from the palanquin and start asking, "Who are you? How you can speak this such a words of wisdom?" So then, a very long description in the Srimad Bhagavatam tells about the conversation between Rahugana and Jadabharata. So Jadabharata explains lot of things. He explains about who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and how this material world works and how this mind works. So many complicated Sankhya philosophy he explains to Rahugana. So at the end of the conversations, what happens? When Rahugana, after hearing all this conversation, Rahugana mentioned that finally accepts, "Oh Brahmana, you are in a vesha, you are in a costume like you are in disguise, you are hiding like you are like a Brahmana, but you are not a Brahmana. You are a representative of Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are not an ordinary person." So, and he starts realizing, he tells, even though I am a king, what is this? Is the body of a king is filled with a lot of all the dirty things. Blood, mucus, pus, stool. And I am thinking this as a body, and my vision is bitten by serpent of pride. My vision is bitten by serpent of pride. So because of that pride, I am not able to see the things as it is. So your words acting like a medicine to me. How a person who is suffering from severe disease, when you go to the doctor, physician, and the physician gives a medicine that cures, same way your words have cured my disease. So then further it tells, what is the use of taking birth in a heavenly planet? If the birth in a heavenly planet is also useless, because we cannot, if we won't come in touch with the pure devotee of a Lord, that birth is the defeat or is a waste of life. In one sense it says, I am more fortunate because I came in touch with you, such a person who is having a divine knowledge. See how the words of a pure devotee are powerful. Same thing is mentioning here also. Shukadeva Goswami entered the Hastinapura. How he was looking like a madman. He was saying that Mukha, dumb, mad, dumb man. But actually, he was not a dumb man. He was having he is a highly realized personality. That's what even in a mundane way also says, don't judge book just by seeing its cover. Don't judge a person. Even as a devotees, as a practitioners, many times we may also commit such mistake. Just by seeing an externals, we may judge a person. So that's why we can judge a person when we hear from him. Because the words of a person shows the consciousness of the person. Even understanding a devotee is a very, very difficult job. It's mentioned in the Shastras. Devotees, judging a devotee, understanding a devotee, it is very difficult. Most of the time, especially in this material world misjudges the devotees. Even for that example, if you see, even why the devotees, even when the Lord was there, when the Lord was personally appeared on this planet, the Lord was misjudged, not understood by everyone. When Krishna was personally present, not everyone has understood Krishna as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not understood by everyone as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even when Srila Prabhupada was there, even many people came as a respect, as mentioning the purport. People want to go and see the sadhu. Many people came to see a sadhu, but not to hear a sadhu. How many people really heard and take the benefit of Srila Prabhupada's words? That's very rare. That's why we have to take a benefit from the sadhu, means we should hear his words, we should hear his vani. So even we also would have maybe there in 60, 70 years before in different bodies. When Prabhupada was there, maybe as in human body or some other body, we don't know. But we came in touch with, we heard or we have seen, not sure. But in this life, we have heard, we have come with Srila Prabhupada's Vani, in touch. We have touched, we are fortunate. We have come in touch with that Vani. So that's why we should take the instructions of the spiritual master very seriously. So if we miss this opportunity, again, don't know, again any other life, next life, any such opportunity comes also, whether we'll be in a position to recognize or identify that opportunity. So that's why a sincere devotee, a serious devotee won't look for second chance. He takes, appreciates, recognizes Lord's mercy for him in this life and takes seriously and follow the instructions. So, we have to follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions. It's really a blessing for all of us to have access to all these literature, Vani, and if we all study, understand and apply in our life, whatever the best extent possible, that will be the success of our life. Success of our life, it depends upon not on external situations, however may be the external situations, how nicely we'll practice. Many devotees who are in abroad, completely in unfavorable scenario, they practiced the bhakti and they achieved a perfection. Compared to them, our situation is much better. We are in India, near to Vrindavan Dham, and we have a more opportunity to follow all these instructions. If you are not following, so then we are the most misfortunate people. So by this, I will end. If anyone has any questions, we can take. Srila Prabhupada ki